name is David Templar. That was really loud. Hello. Hello, my name is David Templar, otherwise known as Temptation, and today, as you can probably tell from the description of this video, I'm going to be doing a review of a class that I went to at Kxu in London called HIIT and Run. Now, before I go on and do the review of the class, I just want to explain a little bit about myself in case you're new to my channel or you don't follow me on Instagram. So, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go and do that now. It's at temp_tation. Now, my ethos and what you'll see that is apparent from my YouTube channel and my Instagram account is something I call litness, and this is the balance of lifestyle and fitness. And this all came about in July 2016 when I decided to take a year out of work to go travelling. Basically, I'd got in pretty good shape to go travelling, and I wanted to sustain that throughout the year that I was away. Now, I knew that I was going to be indulging in alcohol. I wasn't going to be able to get the foods that I normally eat on board, and the way that I was going to balance this out was by increasing my exercise and being generally active. So I set myself a challenge of doing a HIIT workout every day for a year, and I used the hashtag 365 days of HIIT. Now, I built up a bit of a following by doing this. I was doing workouts in all these lovely locations, but the thing for me was the accountability. By setting myself this challenge and documenting it on Instagram, it just kept me accountable, and I was able to stay in reasonably good shape while I was away. By no means I didn't stay in the shape I went away in, but I proved that you could balance your lifestyle with fitness if you were just generally a bit more active and did a workout every day. Now, HIIT isn't the type of training that I do when I'm back in England. I'm in the gym, but it was something that I could do anywhere, and it was just enough to burn that extra energy that I was consuming. So, basically, while I was away, I built up a bit of a following, and I came back to England, and I wanted to keep the momentum going, continue to grow my audience, and do fitness-related stuff. So I decided to start going to London fitness classes and reviewing them along the way. Now, if you look back on my Instagram and YouTube account, you'll see some of these reviews. I haven't done one for absolutely ages. So when Nima, the coach at Kxu who takes the HIIT and Run class, invited me along, I jumped at the chance because I absolutely love going to the classes. And yeah, it's just more content for me, and I love doing the exercise classes and reviewing them anyway. So yeah, let's jump into it. So, just reading from the Kxu website, the HIIT and Run class description is a seriously heart-pounding, adrenaline-inducing throwdown of a workout. It incorporates interval training, utilising speed and inclines on the treadmill, coupled with strength and conditioning training. All of this to a killer playlist with the lights turned down low. If it's a challenge that you want, it is definitely the class for you. Weight and endurance training, the perfect sports conditioning partnership. And I couldn't agree more with that. So, the one main thing that I'd like to pull out of this class was that everything that you did off the treadmills was relevant to the exercise you do when you're on the treadmill. So, it was all running specific. I had a quick chat with Nima after the class, and I said this was an amazing class because all of the exercises here are relevant to what we're doing on the treadmill, and it's stuff that's going to improve your running. So I absolutely love running, which is one of the reasons why I went along to this class, but I even learned stuff myself. Having strong ankles and firing up your glutes off of the treadmill is then easy to transfer over onto the treadmill in order to improve your running. So this was very much focused around explosive power through your legs, activating those glutes, strengthening the ankles, and really focusing on the arm movements to help you when you are running. So absolutely loved it that everything you were doing off of the treadmill was specific to what you were doing on the treadmill. So many times I've been to classes and they've just like mix-matched loads of exercises together in some random order, and yeah, it's hard, it's tough, but it's not really specific to anything that you want to do. As I say, I absolutely love running, so learning stuff off the treadmill to take onto the treadmill and then onto the road was absolutely perfect for me. So the number one thing that I liked about the class was the specificity of the exercises of the treadmill and the transfer of it onto the treadmill. Number two, and probably most importantly, there was a very in-depth warm-up, not only to prime your body to do the exercise, but again, it was specific to the type of exercise you were doing. So it was all about activating those quads, getting the mobility, activating those glutes, getting the mobility in your ankles that you need for running. So again, I've been to a lot of classes where you go in cold and you don't really warm up properly and you feel the odd twinge in your legs or whatever as you get going with the exercise. Not with Kxu. So this is the second time I've done a Kxu workout and both times there's been a thorough warm-up to get you ready for the exercise you're about to do. I'm actually going to take you through some of the exercises in a minute just to give you an idea of what was going on in the class, but the good thing about this and what I liked about it, everything was scalable to your ability. So Nima, the guy taking the class, was absolutely brilliant. If you couldn't do one exercise, he'd give you a variation which would enable you to join in with the class. So this class really is available and applicable to anybody. And I guess that's what HIIT is. So HIIT is you working maximally, and it's your maximum, not the other person's maximum or the next guy's maximum, it's your maximum. So you get out of this class as much as you want to put in. And while we're speaking about HIIT actually, another thing in line with my ethos, I believe in something called LIT. So instead of high intensity interval training, I do longer interval intensity training. And the reason for this, when HIIT first started, it was done with track athletes racing against each other. So imagine if two guys were racing 100 meters doing HIIT, you are going to be working maximally. Now, when you get into your own gym environment, it's very hard to push yourself to a maximal intensity. So what I like to do is work for longer periods so you get your heart rate higher. From personal experience, I know that if I set my time to 30 seconds to do high knees on the spot, I'm looking at the clock, by the time it gets to 25, I'm thinking, right, there's only 5 seconds left and I'm easing off. So, what I've done in order to change this is increase the interval that you do it for. So instead of running for 30 seconds, I'll run for 6 minutes at an uncomfortable pace. So longer interval intensity training. And what this does, it enables you to work to a higher heart rate and you're going to be burning more calories in that same time frame. So, although this is called HIIT and Run, and yes, it is shorter intervals of high intensity work, what we were doing was back-to-back exercises, which was in line with my LIT ethos. So instead of doing 45 seconds on, 15 off, we were doing 45 seconds of one exercise into 45 seconds of another exercise, and you were doing 5 exercises back-to-back before taking a rest. And I absolutely love that for the reason that I just said. It enables you to get your heart to a higher rate, and therefore you're working more maximally. So that was the structure of the class, and actually Nima sent me over exactly what we did. So I'm just going to run you through the structure of the workout, and then as I said, I'm going to show you some of the exercises that we did. So let me just find this quickly. Right, I've got it. So the HIIT and Run class that we did on the 9th of March was a 4-minute warm-up. Now, this was split into 6 drills of SAQ, which is strength, agility and quickness, and then 6 activation and mobility. So mobility could be in your ankles, activation could be in your glutes. You obviously want to target the muscles that you're going to be doing when you're running and getting them fired up to really perform well in the class. Then, segment 1, runners. We did 4 sets of 90-second intervals, and we were working at a good pace, a build-up pace, and a fast pace. So, another thing that I like with this class, you weren't told what pace to run at. It's all to do with how well you can perform and your ability. So Nima said, set a pace between 8 and 12 kilometers an hour, and then a pace between 10 and 14, and then for your final pace, it's between 12 and 16. So yeah, 4 sets of 90-second intervals. You're given 3 different paces or brackets of paces to work between. But of course, if you've got a good ability, you can work outside of those brackets. That's just a general rule of thumb. And what we were doing was working at 30 seconds on our good pace, then 30 seconds at the build-up pace, then finally finishing 30 seconds on your fast pace. This was really, really intense. I've got a very good sweat on and I absolutely loved it. Right, so first circuit. Actually, before we start, when you go into the class, you're told to go and pick up a light, medium and heavy dumbbell, some of these core sliders, whatever they're called, and then a medicine ball, but you don't need it for the first circuit. So first circuit we did was side lunge to press to overhead lunge. So we're going side lunge to press to overhead lunge and back. And you drop them down, side lunge to press to forward lunge. 1. So you're working for 45 seconds on each one, and as I said, you're doing back to back, so it aligns with my LIT ethos. Next up was bent over row into upright row. So doing this from the side for the bent over row, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into an upright row. So keeping the dumbbells close together, leading the elbows, bringing them up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you just repeat that until the 45 seconds is up. Third exercise was, oh, you do need them, the super skaters. So just put your feet on the sliders, and you bring your knee in. "45 seconds on that." Next exercise, look, even just demonstrating this, I'm absolutely blowing. So you can see how hard it is. Next up, we have the sumo deadlift. So, assuming a position with the dumbbells in between your legs, get as low as you can, nice wide stance, and touch them to the floor. And then the last exercise was a press up pull through. So, only going to use one dumbbell this time. You go press up, and then pull the dumbbell through. Press up, pull the dumbbell through. And as I said, all these exercises are scalable to your ability. So if you can't do that, you can go onto your knees and bring the dumbbell through. And basically you do all those exercises back to back, take a little rest, and then repeat that circuit. So we then came back to the treadmills for a second time, and we used the same pace bracket. So good pace, build up pace, fast pace, but we changed up the incline and also the times we were running for. So segment 2 was 6 minutes long, and we did 60 seconds at the build-up pace. Without getting off the treadmill, you then work up to your build-up pace for 30 seconds, so between the 10 and 14 bracket, but you move the incline down. So we started off on a 4% incline, you came down to a 2% incline, and then for the last one, it was only 20 seconds, but it was at your fast pace on no incline. We then built that incline back up and did exactly the same, so 60, 30, 20, you do 2 rounds of that. My calves were absolutely burning at the end of that for the incline. And then you go back onto the floor. Circuit number 2 was an absolute killer, and in fact, when I'm filming this, it is Tuesday. I did the class on Saturday, and my delts are still in absolute pieces. And I think 1, it's an exercise that I'm not really used to, but 2, it's actually very hard. 3, it is specific to running. So, this exercise, the first one, so you're going to do a dumbbell split squat with running arms. So you do left arm first, then your right arm. And basically what it looks like, you're replicating the movement of running, but in a split squat with dumbbells in your hands. So, one leg forward, and we're doing this. 45 seconds of that. Switch over, right leg, exactly the same. You really want to accentuate that movement through the shoulder and replicate those running arms. 45 seconds, that is absolutely savage. Right, from that, what do we go on to? Medicine ball alternating switch lunge slam. So, right, I've switched up the medicine balls to this one because you need one that can bounce a little bit. So, another thing that I liked about this class, it was small enough that the instructor could go around and help you and correct your form where needs be, and also could give you either harder exercises or easier exercise depending on what you can do. And actually for me, this one, it's all to do with coordination and core balance, and I couldn't grasp the concept, so I changed it up just to get the movement pattern before putting the slam on the end, and you'll see what I mean now. So the movement was bouncing it either side, but as you can see I'm a little bit pissed and all over the place, so just broke it down to do the rainbow and the alternating lunge. And that was what was good, having an instructor to correct your form and tell you where to make the modifications. So that's that one. Again, I'm blowing. Right, next exercise was a medicine ball Russian twist. So again, using the medicine ball on the floor, getting those core muscles going. Boom, boom, boom. You can add the slam into that one. Like so. Oh, mate. And the last one was mobility of your hips. So, get the gliding pads, and you're going to form 2 circles one way, 2 circles the other way. So, this is great for your hip mobility. In, round, back to the start. And then you go the other way. So, round and in and down. Round, in and down. And that was circuit number 2. There's one more for me to show you. Oh! That's too relevant at the moment, isn't it? Just when you thought it was all over, we had one round left, and this was absolutely savage. So we went on to dead mills. So basically you take any speed or any resistance off of it and you're powering the treadmill just using your own body. So we went into a last 6-minute segment and we were doing kickbacks. So you're on the treadmill and you're making it go as fast as you can using one leg. I'll put it like a right donkey then, but basically we did right leg, left leg, and then prowler. So the prowler is just getting on the treadmill, both legs, leaning into it, and running as fast as you can. But it wasn't over there. I'm going to show you what else we did using resistance bands now. So this last circuit was the one that we did on the treadmill as well. So we had the kickbacks, where you use one leg to get the treadmill going. Did that on each leg. And then the third one was the prowler, so getting nice and low, pushing your legs as hard as you can to get the treadmill working. And then we did that with a little circuit off of the treadmill as well. So first one was a wood chop. So you just got it in this position and held it out there. This is great for stabilising your core. So obviously did it that way and that way, and then finished it off with a nice little squat jump with a row at the top. So, oh, let me get that a bit tighter. That's what she said. And did a few rounds of that. So that concludes all of the circuits, just to give you a little idea of what we did in that session. But he emailed me through what it was, the exercise that we were doing in that session, and it said hit and run number 5. So the exercises are different every week, so it doesn't mean that if you go consecutive weeks you're going to be doing the same stuff, which is good, variation. And also I like going to these classes because it gives me ideas of stuff to do with my clients. Like, I'm not a running coach, but there's no reasons as to why I can't take some of those exercises that I just showed you and build them into the plans that I do with my clients. So there's an idea of some of the stuff that we're doing. Back to me talking over there. So yeah, anyway, I just want to say a massive thank you to Nima and Kxu for having me down for the day. I absolutely love the class. The main points for me to take away from it is that number 1, a thorough warm-up is done and you feel like you're ready and primed for the exercise you're about to do. Number 2, I absolutely loved how specific the movements you were doing off the floor were to the treadmill. It's the first time I've been to a class where what you're actually doing is specific to the workouts you're doing. Number 3, this is the second time I've been to Kxu and it's just such a good vibe about the place. I absolutely love the way everybody treats you, everybody makes you feel welcome, and it is just generally a nice place to be. This is a class and a gym in fact that everybody can go to. Everything is scalable to your ability, which is another great thing. You've got the great community from the people in the class who are keeping you going, and it is just generally a good environment to work in. Not only that, they've got great facilities, so you'll notice they've got kills, shower gel, shampoo, they've got hair dryers, it's a really nice locker room, you've got access to free cold water. It's just generally a really nice upmarket vibe about the place. I'd just been in Palma for the 3 days prior to going to the class, getting on the booze, and I found it ridiculously hard, but as I say, everything's scalable to your ability, so no doubt, even if I hadn't been on a 3-day hangover, this would have been a perfect class for me. And as I say, I really like running. I loved learning new stuff within the class and learning exercises, weighted exercises, mobility exercises, activation exercises that can help me not only on the day in my class, but things that I can take away afterwards. So I had an absolutely fantastic experience. As I say, thanks so much to the guys for having me down. I can't wait to come again. And I think I used to do ratings for these classes, so you could sort of put them in a table against each other. I guess if you like running, this is a great class for you to go to because it is specific, but I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I don't know what a 10 out of 10 would be. It's a cool little hangout as well. I was a bit gutted that I couldn't stay around and chat to people. I had to shoot off to another course that I was doing, but I'd have loved to just stay there, get a juice or a coffee or something, and just soak up the atmosphere. It was a really nice place. So yeah, second time I've been to Kxu, not disappointed, and I'll be definitely going back again. Maybe I'll try out one of the other classes next time, but the hit and run definitely gets the Temps Tip seal of approval. So thanks once more, and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you've got any other classes that you've heard of and want me to go to, let me know in the comment section below and I will go and test them out for you. Right, peace.